Hello, friends. I am Chevy. Welcome to my shed. How are you today? How's life in your world? How's things where you are? I hope it's all fantastic. I hope everything is just nice. It's nice here. It's actually, well, it's raining here, but it's a nice day regardless because I had a really good weekend. And I think I regained a lot of my focus and a lot of my, a lot of the issues I was having last weekend kind of seemed to evaporate. I got a lot done. Work wise, whether that means I got a lot of work done, not necessarily meaning that I worked, but I did work. Does that make sense? I worked on the router table. Actually, I spent a lot of time on it. So I took Monday and Tuesday off, and I got to this top banded and worked on getting some finish on it. I also built this. This is the front of this is going to be a door for where the router area of the cabinet is. I got this done on Monday. This was my first frame and panel door I've ever made. And we talked a good bit about that last week. So this was a good experience. By the way, I don't know that I mentioned it, but when I made this, I cut the slot just assuming that I have a 1/4 inch cutting blade. I have like a box joint set, so it's kind of like a little miniature dado stack that goes from either 3/16 to a 1/4 inch to 3/8 or something like that. So I thought I'll just set it to a 1/4 inch and I'll rip the grooves in these. So that's what I did. But my 1/4 inch, I did not have 1/4 inch plywood. I had like 3/16 or maybe even a little less than 3/16. It might have ended up. It might be more like 7/32 or something. I don't know. It was definitely way smaller than the slot. But I found this plywood. This is some of the crappiest plywood I've ever seen in my entire life. And it came on a pallet. Like this was, I don't know why the top of the pallet was covered with this plywood, but I saved it because it's almost a true 1/4 inch. It's complete garbage. Like there's these huge voids and there's these areas where it's like almost 3/8 thick because it's got extra layers or whatever, really garbage stuff. But you know what? In this door, and all sanded up, it looks pretty good. It's rough as hell. I don't think I could ever sand it to be nice. But, for this project, for a frame and panel that I've never done, looks great. So this is all I got done on Monday and Tuesday. I took Monday and Tuesday off, and I worked on it, and this is what I got done. But this weekend, I basically got the rest done. We're almost ready to assemble this. I think there are now 6 coats of finish on this top. I think I am done putting finish on it. You can probably hear it. It's smooth-ish. There's still some nibs in here, probably from the cloth that I'm using. It's just wipe-on poly, which I'm going to buff out with some synthetic steel wool, and then this will get waxed. This door has probably 5 coats of finish on it, which is excessive for a door, but that's fine. I've put the last coat on yesterday. This was done with the same time I was doing this, so that it was all gloss. I put 1 coat of satin on here. I did that this weekend. But I also made another frame and panel door. Nope. I made another frame and panel door. This is going to be on the side of the router cabinet where the electrical stuff. So this will open, the electrical stuff will be back here, and I also plan on mounting the power switch right on this door. So this will open up, stuff will be in there. So I made a second frame and panel. This one went way faster, way easier because I understood the setup, I understood what I needed to do. I still had to hand fit it. That was fine, worked out great. And instead of using a router to chamfer these edges, I used my hand plane. And that worked really, really well. So this has 3 coats of finishes on it, as does all the drawers. I ended up making all the drawers. This is one of the top drawers. It's a very shallow drawer and a very large opening. This will allow me to have router bits standing up in here, whatever needs to go in here. So there's 2 of these drawers that will be on the front. I faced them all with cherry. So this is cherry edge banding. The trim on those are cherry. This is cherry. And I'm going to put these like over the top drawer handles on it. So they'll just be little finger pulls. I'm now debating on whether I should inset these or not. There's plenty of gap. This thing has, nothing is square. These drawer fronts are super out of square because my miter gauge it was loose and I wasn't aware of it until after I cut them and realized they're way off. So these are way out of square. These are really pretty rough. These need to be buffed out as well and probably waxed. But I'm now debating on whether I'm going to inset these or just leave them up top. You know, they're only about a 1/16 of an inch, so there's plenty of room for them. But I might just notch out an area in here to make it look a little bit more finished. I built 5 drawers and a door. They're all full bottoms. So the drawer bottom is cut to size, and then the top is 4 pieces that have been glued and brad nailed together, and then that's all brad nailed onto the bottom. So the bottom's holding all the weight. This is my preferred way of doing false front drawers because I don't feel like there's a necessity, especially in the shop. There's no need to have fancy locking joinery. Like, nobody's yanking on drawers like that. I don't know, I guess in a kitchen or something where there is a lot of that, these drawers are going to get opened a few times a year. Like, there's stuff that goes in there and it just stays in there until you need it. It's not going to be like an everyday use drawer. There's no need. I think that before I could pull this joint apart, before I could pull this 1/2-inch plywood where it's screwed or brad nailed and glued together here, this top of this cherry board would snap off before I ever got to pulling that drawer front out, no matter how hard I tried. So anyway, I did all of that. The one drawer, the bottom drawer, it doesn't show well in the picture, but it is just kind of scrapped together. I ended up using about 2/3 of a sheet of 1/2-inch plywood that I had left over. And when I got to the end, I had a piece that was just the right size for that drawer, and I had some other scraps of various types of plywood. They weren't not necessarily the same part laying around that I could cut the sides out of. I had to make the back up. The sides I miscut, so they're inset. Like, it's a complete crap of a drawer, but it's the bottom super thin drawer that's not going to get used for probably anything other than like manuals or something. I don't know what I'm going to put in there yet. But I had a really good weekend doing all of that. And I think that being in here and just doing manual work like this, it helped me. I meditated a little bit while I did it. Like, it was a little bit more of cathartic meditation than it was just work. And I think I have some answers to some of the questions that I've had for a while now about where I'm headed and what I'm doing. And also, Em and I had a lot of really heartfelt talks. We had a lot of discussion about us in the future and my kids and whatever. Tears and that sort of stuff. So I think that a lot of good things happened this weekend. And that has me, optimistic right now. I'm feeling very, very optimistic. So, yeah. What did you get up to this weekend? Anything exciting? Let me know in the comments. Hopefully tonight I'm going to get this buffed and waxed, and I'm going to get these things installed whichever way I choose to do it. And I completely finished these door faces, and I have not yet done the hardware. I'm procrastinating on the hardware because I'm scared of it, to be truthful. So, I think what I'm probably going to do is make a story stick that fits in the cabinet, mark on that where the hinge plates go, so I can transfer those marks to here, and then set these up. I think that's how I'm going to handle it. Haven't fully decided. Let me know if you have any good ideas, because the one space where this one goes is super tight, and it'd be very, very difficult to get it lined up. The other option would be to drill these out, install these, and before I put the top on, I can kind of set this door in place with the hinge plates there and mark where they go. I think that's also a fine option. So, I don't know. Let me know. Thank you for being here as always. Thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing, being amazing friends and wonderful people. I really appreciate you. And I'll see you again tomorrow. Today's word you should know sounds smart is marzipan. It is a sweet confection made of almond paste, sugar, and egg white used as a filling in candy or as icing for a cake. American Danish can be doughy, heavy, sticky, tasting of prunes, and is usually wrapped in cellophane. Danish is light, crisp, buttery, and often taste of marzipan or raisins. It is seldom wrapped in anything but loving care. R.W. Apple Jr., an American food critic. Marzipan, M-A-R-Z-I-P-A-N. I don't know that I've ever had marzipan, but those are all ingredients that I enjoy. I don't enjoy sugar that much, but I would really like to try almond and egg white and sugar. I might have to find marzipan somewhere.